A trabajar, carajo, y a sacar este país adelante. A trabajar, carajo. A trabajar, carajo. Hola, pura vida. Welcome to my channel Costa Rica. This is Hector, just to know more little things about our country, Costa Rica. So, nothing else. Let's go! So, muy bien. If we pay attention, most of the time, most of the people, they know 4 seasons. In Costa Rica, we don't have 4 seasons, like we were mentioning. No. In Costa Rica, we have only 2 seasons. Rainy season and dry season. And how is that? Explain me, please, because I don't know. Even for me. When I was growing up, when I was a kid, it was so hard to understand, believe me. Let me explain a little bit. Something funny, so a long time ago, the meteorologists, they used to give pronostics of the weather, and they never had a good prognostic, you know, so it was really funny when I was a kid, you know. Interesting. Nowadays, probably they have more technology, so now they have a kind of very good prognostic around the country. So if you want to check about the prognostic about the weather, you have to check in the Instituto Meteorológico Nacional de Costa Rica, and there you will find always how will be the weather.
It rains only for a few hours a day, most often in the afternoon and at night. There can even be days when it doesn't rain at all.
Then, what I can say is Costa Rica has a crazy weather. Crazy because it's really crazy. And in order to understand how is the weather in Costa Rica, we have to talk about many topics, many facts. The first topic is just to talk about our position in the continent. Costa Rica is a kind of bridge. It's the last lands emerged so long time ago, about 17 million ago, when this was a volcanic land, so every day it was just exploding and exploding, volcanoes, explosion after explosion, and then the Costa Rican lands emerged. So now here we are a very young land, so we are located in the middle of North America and South America. We are in Central America. A second characteristic, it will be mentioning the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. We have the effect of the seas in both sides of Costa Rica, so this is one of the main characteristics to have a kind of really nice weather or a crazy weather in Costa Rica, you know? The third point is just for the geography. We have a very broken geography. We are located in Central America, and you know, just reviewing, we have the Caribbean Ocean and also the Pacific. So we have coast. And then in the middle, it's always just broken geography. And according to researchers in Costa Rica, we have about 120 volcanoes, maybe more. 7 of them, they are active. You know, so it means Costa Rica was made for the volcanoes. And the number 4, it's just the equator. I know I already mentioned something about our location in Central America, but behind that we are very close to the equator. So to be close to the equator, to the middle of the earth, is really interesting because it causes a kind of tropical permanent weather in Costa Rica.
Give all these fruits a really good blend in your mixer. I'm just gonna pour these into my serving glasses. And I love this color, it just looks so rich, it looks really delicious.
So all these 4 characteristics are like ingredients in a milkshake. I mean, a blender. So if you turn on the blender, mixing the geography, the location in Central America, close to Ecuador and also having both effects from the Caribbean and the Pacific Ocean, if you combine this in a kind of milkshake, it will make a crazy weather. Two more things. How is the dry season? How is the rainy season? What we find there?
The rains usually roll in the afternoon, just in time for a nap after lunch.
The rainy season. What we find in the rainy season? Rains. Yes, of course. Hector, that is not so... Yeah, rainy season. It means most of the time it will be rainy. And raining and raining and raining more. More than ever that you know in your life. In Costa Rica it rains a lot. So strong rains, and sometimes the drops are this big. And every year in the rainy season there are floods around the country, especially by the Caribbean lowlands, because in the Caribbean lowlands there are many banana crops, no forest. So you know, in the Caribbean there are many reports of floods around. In Guanacaste it's other of the places where you can find many floods in Costa Rica.
So we're in the height of the dry season here, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to show people what they can expect from the landscape at this time of year.
The dry season. In the dry season what we find is less rains. Sometimes in some places the rain will be just a little, in other places will be raining more. I'm going to show you later one map where we can find some dry season and rainy season during the year. If we are talking about the weather in Costa Rica, it's so important, very important to talk about the Dr. Leslie Holdridge. He made a really nice Costa Rican study. He created one really nice live zones map. Let me show you. We have 12 different kind of live zones. It means we have a kind of microclimates or micro weather. 1. Tropical dry forest. 2. Tropical moist forest. 3. Tropical wet forest. 4. Tropical premontane forest. 5. Premontane moist forest. 6. Premontane wet forest. 7. Lower mountain moist forest. 8. Lower mountain wet forest. 9. Lower mountain rain forest. 10. Mountain wet forest. 11. 11. Mountain rain forest. The last one, number 12, subalpine rain paramo forest. Yes, in Costa Rica the weather is crazy. Crazy because we are close to Ecuador. So we are a tropical country. We also have the location in the middle of North America and South America. We also have two seas, the Caribbean and the Pacific Ocean. So we have a crazy weather because of the combination also with the volcanic geography. Very broken, right? Mr. Skutch and Mr. Stiles in his book Birds of Costa Rica, they show this map. And on this map you can see how different is the weather. Very important, if you are in Costa Rica, if you come to Costa Rica, you will have a different weather by the coast. It could be the Caribbean coast or the Pacific coast than if you go to the Central Valley, for example. And while you are driving, or if you are on a van or something like, in the transportation, you know, you sometimes will be having sunny places, and then in 15 more minutes it will be rainy. You know, Costa Rica has a crazy weather. what are the months where the dry season is very well marked? We can say from the second half of December until July. So, depending of the zone, depending if you are in the Pacific, in the Central Valley, or the Caribbean, the first months of the years are always drier than the others. So you know, sometimes it's more rainy, while in other places it's sunnier, you know? So it's interesting to see this map because they explain very well how is the crazy weather in Costa Rica. By the Pacific, in the north, in Guanacaste, you will find 6 month rainy season, 6 month dry season. If we see in the Central Pacific, by Punta Arenas, you will find approximately 5 month dry season and 7 rainy season. In the Pacific, by the south, close to Panama, you will find 3 month dry season and 9 month rainy season. In the Central Valley, it could be 4 months dry season and then 8 months rainy season. In the North Caribbean, close to Nicaragua, in the South Caribbean, close to Panama, together, this is the Caribbean. The Caribbean has the crazier weather in Costa Rica. It never have a dry season, or at least very well marked. You know, it has less rains, but it's supposed to be rainy always. Even if some people, they think about that in this area, they have dry season. No, it's just less rains. Reviewing, we have a crazy weather in Costa Rica. Because our location in Central America and because of the volcanic activity through, well, long time ago, emerging in our Costa Rican lands. So the volcanic activity, we have the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean here, the Caribbean Sea, okay? Also, the geography is very broken, and then we are very close to Ecuador. We said 12 life zones, and each of them has a kind of weather.
A good blend in your mixer. I'm just gonna pour these into my serving.
Something really curious is, according to researchers in Costa Rica, every 200 meters upper than the sea level, we lose 1 Celsius degree, you know? So it means also the temperature will be changing every 200 meters up. During these minutes, it's not enough to know the weather in Costa Rica. You need a kind of really long lesson, like a university classroom, you know, because it's really interesting to know about the weather. It's completely hard. I'm doing my best to explain this, so I hope you enjoy this. And like, thank you. A trabajar.